All right, welcome back, Panhandle fly fishing charter fans. I am going to tie my Fort Pickens Special. This is a fly that I've been catching most of my redfish on this year. I tie it up in a couple different colors. I'm going to do the very basic pearl color, and I'm tying it on hook size 1 up through 2/0, depending on the manufacturer and the hook. They're all a little different. This is a size 1/0 Gamakatsu. It's an SC15 1/0. So we're going to start by securing our thread, and we're going to leave a little bit of room at the front. I don't want the thread right to the eyeball because we're going to finish the fly up there later. And I'm going to tie a couple of thread dams, just a couple of bumps on my hook. That's going to help keep my eyes in place. Make sense? And then I am going to use black nickel with blue holographic eyes. And I'll show you the packaging for these eyeballs. Actually, let me go over all of the materials now before I start. So these are my eyeballs that I like to use. MFC, Montana Fly Company. And these are sparkle dumbbell eyes. They come in several colors. I like to use the mediums. They help get my fly down pretty quick where I want it, because when I'm fishing the Gulf side, the water's a little deeper typically, and I want to get that fly to the bottom. So I'm using the mediums, not the larges. I like how the mediums cast and the action on them. They're not too heavy. Other stuff we are going to use, and this is key. Sparkle Minnow Brush from MFC. And this is UV Pearl. It's a 50-50 blend. This stuff is amazing when it gets wet. It looks really good in the water. Yeah, it looks like a glass minnow once we get it rolling. So you get 6 brushes per pack. Typically you can get 2 to 3 flies out of each brush. Looks like this one, it's out of the package. Actually, we'll use this piece. We're going to use craft fur. So this is old school. Really old. Sand colored craft fur. I've had this stuff for like 20 years. Still works just fine. And then we're also going to use a marker to stripe our craft fur. And this marker in particular, I mean, there's all kinds out there. There's a chart pack, and this is dark olive, which is what I'm going to use to stripe the craft fur. Okay, with that said, we're going to tie our eyes in, figure 8 them. Kind of standard fodder, however you like to tie your eyes on. I like to figure 8 with plenty of wraps. So just get it secure and get them straight where you like them. And then what I like to do is wrap under the eyes and on top of the hook. What that does is it pulls those figure 8 wraps together, tightens it up, and keeps the eyes from spinning around on the hook. Do some wraps in front, do some wraps behind, a few more figure 8s, because I do not want those eyes spinning. It'll affect how the fly fishes. Okay, that's good. Then we're going to bring our thread to the back of the hook, and I do not like to cover my hook shank evenly with material. So I'll just run this thread back and forth, cross-hatching it and making it rough. And the reason I like to do that is it helps keep the materials that I'm tying down more secure. They're not as likely to spin on me when I do that. So next we're going to take craft fur. I'm going to take 3 clumps, one at a time, tie them on. So I'm going to cut off 1 clump, and I'm going to clean the guard hairs out of the bottom of it. And you can do that by hand. Or, so this is my first clump. I don't know if you can see that. And I'm just going to pull out all the guard hairs out of the bottom of it. You can also brush it out. I've got my loon brush to get all that stuff out of there, clean it up a little bit. Just ties on a little nicer. And then I want this to be about 1.5 times the hook length, roughly. You can make it longer if you want. I want it to be long so that the sparkle brush does not cover all of it once I tie that on. So just some loose wraps to start, and then we're gonna tie some tight wraps. Get that tied in. If you want, you can tie behind the material to help hold it up. Some people like to do that. It's not necessary. So that's the first clump. We're gonna do 2 more. And again, this is a pattern that I've been really having a lot of success with out here. And I fish a lot out at Fort Pickens as well as other places, but hence the Fort Pickens Special name. So I'm going to measure this up, make sure it's same length as my first clump on there, or close to it. Like that, that looks good. And then 1 more clump to craft fur. Same thing, gonna just pull all the guard hairs out of there. This is actually a pretty healthy clump, but we'll go with it. You can pull them out by hand, or brush out. That'll get all that stuff out of there. And again, I want to measure this so it's pretty accurate, you know, same length as what's already on there. I might cut this one a little longer so I can tie it in a little further forward on the hook. And that just evens up the underbody of my fly. Because now we're getting ready to do the sparkle brush. So there we go. And we're going to bring our thread back, leave about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 inch. Now at this point, I'm going to take my marker. And we are going to stripe this tail. I like to be kind of quick with the marker because this material, this craft fur bleeds easily, so the ink likes to spread. So don't leave the pen on there very long because it'll just all blend together. So there we go. Next up, I'm telling you, I've been catching, 36-inch redfish on this thing. This is our sparkle brush. Gonna tie it in, and we're just gonna do this a single color on this pattern. I'll do one with 2 after this, so you can see how I finish that. Tie that in, pretty simple. And since we're only using 1 color, I am gonna bring the thread all the way to the front and the eye of the hook. Then we're just gonna palmer this forward. And as we palmer it, pull all these fibers back so they lay down backwards. We want them laying back, not forward. Even though when you're fishing this fly, they're all gonna lay back anyway. But I think that this just gives it a better look. Just brush them back with your hand as you go. I like to get it a little thick around the eyes here. Then I'm gonna figure 8 this. Same thing, pull your fibers out. And then I'm gonna do 2 wraps in front of the hook. Actually a wrap and a half in front of the hook, like so. Boom. Tie this off. And then trim it, and then we're gonna whip finish. And pull all the fibers back first and then tie this down. We can clean that up if we want later. There's really no reason to, because when you fish it, all these fibers are gonna be laying back. That's up to you. This stuff looks amazing in the water. And then a whip finish. And then another whip finish. And then at this point, if you want to put some head cement or UV over the thread, I don't think it's necessary. I haven't had any problems with this fly falling apart on me. That's it. That's the Fort Pickens Special. Boom. Tie them up. And again, when this stuff is wet and lays down, it is amazing looking. Okay. Okay. This is the 2-color version. This is gold and red, which is what I caught 3 fish on in one day. And same, red sparkle minnow brush from MFC. And I've got a little bit of a long wire. I'm going to cut that off. So I'm using red thread, 6/0 red thread of your choice. And I've stopped the gold behind the eyes. And I'm just going to tie the red in right here. That's it. That's how we're going to do the two colors. Super simple. Bring your thread forward to the eye of the hook. I'm going to do one wrap, 2 wraps behind the eyes, like so. Figure 8 over the eyes. Get that good and tight in there. Fluff it up as you go. And then we're going to do 1.5 wraps in front of the eye. Let me do one more wrap. Nice thing about this brush is it does not go anywhere. Super easy to work with. And we're going to tie that back and then whip finish, and that's going to be the 2-color version. I've done it in pearl and chartreuse as well. It's endless, the amount of colors that you can get. MFC has probably 20 different colors of the sparkle minnow brush. And again, this stuff looks amazing in the water, especially when it's sunny. 2 whip finishes. Trim this up. Boom. That's your double colored Fort Pickens Special right there. That is it. That's it, and I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Tie some up. It's been crushing redfish for me, and I'm talking big bull redfish. Again, I like to fish it by tossing it out and across in front of these fish that are cruising, 15 feet or so. When they get close, when they're like 3 to 5 feet, I'll give it a quick twitch, see if I get a reaction. If so, I'll twitch it again, see if they get their nose down on it, and then just slow strips to see if the fish ate it. You don't do a trout hook set on them. You do a strip set. So that's how I've been fishing it. It's been awesome. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. And tie some up and let me know how you did with them. Leave comments below. Please subscribe and like. And if you would like to get out and fish anytime with me here in the Panhandle, you can go to my webpage, which is panhandleflyfishingcharters.com. All my information is there. Thanks for checking in, guys. Hope you enjoyed that pattern. I am out.